Welcome back, everybody, to the D3 spread option. Happy to be back with you. I am CouchCru 17, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Mikey Shoultz. Mike, how are we doing today?
Doing well, doing well. Would you like me to touch on last week a little bit here?
Yeah, it was a great week.
Yeah, it was. So we both had winning records this week. This was our best week for sure. I went 6-2. Crew, you went 5-3. That's pretty good. I'm proud of ourselves. And head to head, I went 3-2. You went 2-3 in the QBs versus Cancer games. We both hit on Christopher Newport. That was a good call by us. LaGrange, that was a comfortable cover.
Yeah,
And Cortland, they really took it to him as well. Head to head, the ones that I won, the three that I won were River Falls, Barry, and then Ohio Northern. That was just a fantastic game. That line was
it
like
was.
dead on. And then the ones that I missed on and the ones that you hit on head to head was Mary Hardin Baylor. What a win that was. That game is not meaningless. That's a very meaningful game for both those programs. That's a big win for them. And Coast Guard covered the spread just by a hair against Springfield.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a big week, lots of implications, and we have more of those this week. Just the games get bigger. The playoff conference implications just get bigger as well. So excited to get into them, and we will pull up our updated records here. Mikey is in the lead, 18-14 on the season. I'm at a 15-17, trying to get up over 500 here. But as always, the best part about these is if you win, then great, it's fun. If not, if you happen to lose a head-to-head, then it's a donation, $10 a game to QBs versus Cancer. Mikey repping it there with the QBs versus Cancer merch. I wore mine yesterday on the Voices in the Stands podcast. Very comfortable shirts, very soft, nice to wear around the house, nice to wear out. Just a great shirt overall. So thanks to QBs for Cancer. Quarterbacksversuscancer.com. Great donation opportunity supported by Division III people. So go check them out. All righty. We will get right into it. Man, this is a big one. At Little Giant Stadium, Wabash, number 24 team in the country, hosting Depauw, who is number 15. Mikey, lead us off.
Yeah, the Monon Bell Classic. This is the 131st edition of this rivalry. One of the best rivalries in all of NCAA, regardless of division. These two teams, they don't like each other. And it has a lot of playoff implications for both these squads. I believe if I have read into some of the MPI people's prognostications out there about how the numbers look, whoever loses this game is out, and whoever wins this game is in. So, I mean, they don't get any bigger like this, and this is going to be a theme throughout this show. But right into my pick, it all starts with this Depauw defense, right? I mean, this is a unit that's been talked about all season. Through 9 games now this season, they've allowed a grand total of 97 rushing yards. It almost doesn't even sound like that's correct, but under
Wow.
100 yards rushing for the entire season. They don't get much better
What?
than this. Yeah, it's. I double checked it. I had to go to their website to see if the conference was wrong. Crazy. And they're led by 2 guys in their front 7, Luke Nolan and Dominic Siebel. These guys have a combined 13 sacks between the two of them. They create a lot of havoc up there. They have the Ballantine brothers on offense. That's quarterback Scott and receiver Bobby, brothers on the team, and they're both just studs. I mean, what can you say? What more can you say about Scott? I mean, he's efficient in the pass game, second in the conference in yards per game with 270, and he's thrown 25 touchdowns and 3 picks. And Bobby, I mean, he's a legit like gonna be NFL camp invite type of receiver. I mean, he's all American level, 13
Yep.
touchdowns, 125 yards a game, and they just got too much going on. So I'm laying Depauw. I love this team. They're super physical on defense, and they're really efficient on offense. So I'm gonna lay the number here. And this was actually a pretty easy pick for me.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm with you. on a lot of what you said, and I've got a lot of notes that are similar. I'll start off by saying, in regards to Wabash, right, this is a team that they haven't had a losing season since 1990. So while they haven't had a ton of deep playoff runs, in the last decade, I think their last playoff run was 2015. This is a program that has a lot of tradition and high standards, and this is a winning football program. Great place to watch a game, great place to play a game. This is going to be absolutely bumping on Saturday. With that being said, went back and looked last year, right? The box score 42-21 in favor of Depauw last season. If Wabash is going to be in this game, they need to just skip trying to run the ball altogether, because they ran the ball for 1 yard a carry last season against Depauw. I don't know how much better it's going to be this year if they try to, run. They need to come out and throw the ball. Some teams have had some success against this Depauw secondary with a good passing attack. I think that's what Wabash needs to come out, be aggressive, take some shots, try to get them. If you're going to load the box on us, then just throw, whether it's early downs or whatever. But that being said, I do lean Depauw. They dominated this head-to-head last year. Of course, that was at Depauw. Talked about the run defense, talked about the weapons on offense. I think they win. I just don't see it being by margin. I think Wabash, this is a playoff game. This is at Wabash. This is at, a very tough place to play. So I'm going to be on the other side. This will be our first QBs versus cancer game. And this is going to be a fun one. I mean, this is one I will 100% have on one of the screens. So give me the points with the Little Giants at home here.
Wow, I love it. One of the best logos in Division III football, Wabash.
Fantastic. Yeah, this is a historic logo. Sometimes you just got to stay with the classics. We don't need a rebrand on everybody, right? Stay with the classics. This is one of the very best ones in the country at any level. All right, next game, and they stay big. We are going to Iowa. We got Central, the number 19 team in the country, hosting the Cohawks from Co. And I'll start us off with this one. This one's pretty simple. I don't have a ton of analysis for this one personally. I do want to mention, though, we talked about it before the game, before the show. This is our first true 0.0 on the spread pick'em line that we've covered so far this season in 4 episodes now. Closest one obviously was last week, Mary Hardin Baylor and Hardin Simmons. That line was -1.5. The crew took care of business there. So this is a true pick'em. And I'm not going to say this was an easy handicap, and I'm not going to say that I'm confident, because I think the line should be a pick'em. I think this is I mean, I almost just want to say, look, let's go with the home team here. It's a pick'em. Go with the home team. Play with the home vibes. I'm not, though. I'm going with the Cohawks to win this game. Don't need any points. I'm not getting any points. I'm not laying any points, because it is a pick'em right down the middle. And outside of this show, I would actually prefer that Central wins, because if Co wins, that's potentially another team ahead of my school, Mary Hardin Baylor. And then we get an MPI. There's tons of MPI implications in this show, or this week. I'm going to try not to get into too many of them, because that's not totally what the show's about. But I do think both of these defenses are fantastic. This is going to be a defensive game. Now, granted, what we saw was Central versus Wartburg. Yeah, like Wartburg's got top 5 defense in the country, so it's hard to judge either of these teams against them. But you do have that shared data point there. I think Co has got some more explosive players, and I think that ends up being the difference. I mean, just even one big play could be the difference in this game, and I think it probably comes down to one explosive offensive play. And I'm going to lean towards Co getting that done, because I think both defenses are great. Slight edge to Co offensively, and this is another one that's basically a playoff game, right?
Yeah. Yep. the total playoff game. Neither of these teams can win the conference, but both of these teams can get in with a Pool C bid, at large bid. So, but whoever loses is out. And from what it sounds like, a win will get both of these teams in. Yep, a true win and you're in. Yeah, you nailed it. This is one of those games that a pick 'em sounds just perfect. I mean, when you dig into these teams here, they have so much in common. They're both outstanding on defense. They're both the top two offenses in the conference. There's just not a lot of separation data points between them. Even last season, this game was decided in double overtime by a walk-off field goal. I mean, these teams, they're just neck and neck. And when a game is like that, I'm going to go to the point that you actually said right off the bat. I'm going to lean with the home team. So I'm going to take Central here. We have our second QBs versus Cancer game. And I agree with you. I will give you the point that I think Co has some more explosive players and a little bit more big play potential, especially with quarterback Brady Kelly. I mean, their offense in general, they're averaging 41 points a game and 520 yards a game. And a lot of that's through the air. He's got 30 passing touchdowns on the season. And he went snap for snap with Caleb Blaha in week 2 this season, I think that was,
Yep.
and took River Falls to the wire. So they have that type of offense.
Yep.
But I'm going to lean with the home team here. Central does some good things on offense too, especially with the run game. Jace Gruder, the running back, 9 touchdowns and just under 100 yards a game. I think they're going to lean on him, milk the clock. It's not going to be a high-scoring affair, in my opinion. I'll take the home team.
Is this the ARC, Mikey?
Yep, this is the ARC. There's 3 good defenses in this league, man.
This is a very under the radar conference in Division III. I mean, this is one I don't know how high they're ranked. I mean, I don't know what the public thinks, or I'm not that in tune with any of that, but I don't hear enough talk about these teams being really, really good teams. So this very good conference in Iowa. Good football
Yes,
up
it
there.
is. Yep.
All right. Another QBs versus Cancer. We're starting the show off with some fun today. Oh, man. And talk about fun. Football game at Fenway Park. I love it. I'm going to be totally honest. I know some people are not fans of putting a football field inside of a baseball stadium, but this is not just any baseball stadium. This is Fenway Park. This is the most historic baseball stadium in the entire country, and we get a big time Division III game with playoff implications for this one. So, really fun one. Are we gonna have? I know there's you guys are getting crazy cold up there. Is there gonna be any weather related issues for this one?
This one, it's going to be 40 degrees, so it's going to be cold. But the thing that I kind of circled here is it was supposed to be pretty breezy, 20-mile-per-hour winds in Boston on Saturday. And I just wonder how those winds are going to be inside of a baseball stadium. They're going to start swirling up.
Yep.
So Coast Guard likes to throw it a lot. Interesting.
Yeah, 100%. And that's a good point. I'll just get right to this one. Not only do I want Merchant Marine to win this game, I'm going to lay the points of them, and I think they're going to win this game. I went back and I watched this game, a little bit of this game that was streamed on ESPN Plus. I think this game is going to be on ESPN Plus again. By the way, this is a historic rivalry, obviously. Hence the spotlight in the Fenway Park situation here. I went back and watched. Here's some things I noticed. The game, by the way, last year was 42-21 in favor of Coast Guard. The tackling was not great from Merchant Marine. And I think that Coast Guard had slightly better athletes. Now, I watched some of Merchant Marine's highlights this year. They've upgraded at a lot of positions. They've got a better group. They've got some bigger, faster, stronger athletes out there this year. The defense is playing pretty good defense this season. And you can't really say the same thing about Coast Guard. They have not played good defense. So Merchant Marine, they are a classic academy school triple option Coast Guard's more of a pistol. You said they throw it a lot.
Yep.
Going to have wind, could have some precipitation, could have some weather. That all favors our academy style offense here with Merchant Marine. So I'm going that direction. I think Merchant Marine gets a few stops. I don't think Coast Guard gets any stops. Give me Merchant Marine to get this one done and cover the spread.
Yeah, this is a really hard game. I went back and forth on this one a lot. And, back to football in a baseball stadium. Actually, flashbacks when another big rivalry was St. Thomas and St. John's back in the day.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
was actually on a recruiting visit on behalf of St. Thomas at Target Field. So I was,
Whoa.
and got to experience that. And it was fantastic, man. The way that they put it in the outfield there,
Yep.
it, it feels big, but you don't feel like you're super far away. It's kind of like those stadiums that have a track around it. You're
Yep.
not right on them, but it's not awkward. It actually, they can make it work pretty well. And that was one of the best memories I've ever had at a football game and a D3 game. And I expect this to be a similar atmosphere. So yeah, that's gonna be really cool to keep an eye on. But back to the guts of it. I mean, we've got 3 for 3 on quarterbacks versus cancer here. I'm going Coast Guard.
Whoa.
I'm taking the points. I'm going Coast Guard. Now I know Coast Guard. They can't stop their own shadow right now. I mean, we can't sugarcoat it. They're struggling on defense, but man, can they play some offense? I mean, they've got a great quarterback, Sean Burns. He throws for almost 240 yards a game. This receiver, Brooke Deska, #1 in the NUMAC. He's got 937 yards. He averages 105 a game, and he's getting 19 yards per reception. So he's not just a dink and dunk guy, man. He'll take the top off the defense, and he gets a lot of that yak, that hidden yardage that coaches love. So a guy like Brooke Desta, I'm gonna put my faith in him to get some of that yak, and they can do what they did last year and win this dang game in front of the big monster.
Yeah, this is going to be a really fun one. And you referenced the Tommy Johnny game a while back. That was a fun one too, and that was a fun one to watch. And I think we need more of that. We need more of the big games. Make a big deal of it. You do more of that, you get more coverage, you get more attention, and the big games just get bigger under the spotlight. So I think that's great for small college football. All right, another QBs versus cancer head-to-head. Love it. Okay, here we go. Another gigantic game. We got Franklin and Marshall, now number 25 in the country, the Diplomats at home hosting number 3, Johns Hopkins, who will be making the trip from Baltimore, Maryland. Okay, so I'll start us off on this one. I want to start by saying Johns Hopkins is now my number 2 team in my power rating. And they do a lot of things better than anybody else. I mean, a lot of what these guys are doing warrant some, potential number 1 attention. Bay Harvey might be the best quarterback in Division III. He is playing. I mean, we expected him to come back and be good. He's playing even better than that. This guy is absolutely torching defenses and just doesn't make mistakes. And he can run a little bit. So really impressed with them. We as in Mary Hardin Baylor, my team played them in the postseason in Baltimore last year. This Johns Hopkins team is a step above that team from a year ago. Offensively, got some great weapons as well. Cole Crotty is one of those guys that you talked about, the kid Bobby from Depauw maybe having a shot at some camp invites. Cole Crotty has got a shot to get some camp invites, in my opinion. So they've got talent. The defense is always going to be solid. Legitimately think this team is a national title contender, in my opinion. With that being said, Franklin and Marshall, solid football team. You got to bet the spot over teams, right? And this is a Franklin and Marshall spot. The number's just too big. I think Johns Hopkins wins this game, but you got to expect the Diplomats to fight their rear ends off here. And Johns Hopkins has been just covering machines. They've just been blowing teams out and playing. Really, things have been going their way. Not only have they been playing good, but things have also been going their way, right? And I know they say, when you're good, you create your own luck. Some of that has been happening for them to get these gigantic margins. They're a great team. I'm probably higher on them than a lot of people, to be honest with you. That being said, I just think the number is a little too big here for the situation. This is a spot pick for me, and this is a numbers pick. I've got to take Franklin and Marshall plus a 17.5.
Interesting pick. Yeah, I like a lot of what you said there. Johns Hopkins is a national title contender in my opinion. They're number 3 on my ranking currently, which they've been there all season. But if we're just ranking resumes, I mean, they have the number 1 resume. I don't care what
Yep.
any North Central fan says. You just go resume for resume. They have the number 1 resume, and then there's a big gap between whoever you put second. So they've well deserved that number 2 spot that you've got them at. Can I get controversial for a second with this? I'm so thankful that this game is not at Johns Hopkins because I can't watch another meaningful snap of football on that god awful field. I
It's
mean,
bad.
holy cow. I mean, I get it's a lacrosse school, but I mean, let's just say the quiet part out loud. It's brutal for watching a football game. But the Johns Hopkins offense is not brutal to watch. Like you said, holy cow. Cole Crotty, man. 117 yards per game, 18 yards of reception. But here's an interesting matchup for him. On the other side of the ball, defensive back Oscar Marks of FNM, he leads the Centennial Conference in passes defended with 12. And I think
Wow.
you're going to get a lot of matchups where he's going to be around the ball. He's going to be around where Cole Crotty is, and it's going to be interesting to see how that FNM secondary, treats a guy like that because no one has really figured out how to keep the ball out of his hands to this point. I went back and looked at this, and Johns Hopkins has won 4 straight in this matchup. But if you just take our 17.5 point spread, they haven't covered that spread in the last 3 matchups. They've all been pretty tight games. And I think this spread is just way too big here. So I'm going to go with you. This is the first time we haven't been opposite. And I'm going F&M here. There's just too many points. I think Johns Hopkins wins. I believe there's still a path to the playoffs for Franklin and Marshall with a loss here. I'm not sure the percentage on that, but I know there's still a shot for them to get in, and I hope they do because they've earned a shot at the playoffs, in my opinion. They're a great team, but yep, I'm gonna go with F&M to cover.
I'm with you. Nice to be on the same page for once. I won't
Yeah.
have to. I was getting scared on how much I was going to have to donate this week. So nice to be on the same page for once here. All right, keeping it moving. We are going to Alma hosting Adrian, and yeah, this is one again. I don't have a ton. To be quite honest, I will say this. So I'm going to lay the points with the Scots. Was really honestly, like, in hindsight, their competitive loss to River Falls has just looked better and better and better, right?
Mhm.
And I watched that game and thought, like, they look like 2023 Alma that made a run in the playoffs. Like, this is not, that wasn't a fluke. This is a team, this is a program that their expectation is to make the playoffs and make runs and to beat teams by margin when they can. To be totally honest, look, I do think Adrian is a good football team. Um, I kind of feel like their stock is a little bit inflated because of the win over Valpo. And not to, I don't mean this in any kind of disrespectful way. I'm just saying how I see it. And, I trust my eyes when it comes to, um, analyzing football. Valparaiso would lose by 60 points to North Central. So it would be it would be embarrassing, right? So I kind of think that, great win for Division III to get a win over an FCS non-scholarship team. That's awesome. But I think their stock is a little bit inflated. I think Alma, uh, takes care of business here. This is essentially a must win, and I think they win, and I think they do it emphatically and roll on in.
Well. This was a hard one for me. This was one of those hard ones. This was not like the Depauw pick, which I felt pretty confident in. I had to really get into the weeds a little bit on these. First off, the Alma offense. We know Carter St. John, right? QBs versus cancer. That's Carter St. John. Preseason All-American quarterback. He's really good. 23 touchdowns on the year. He's really efficient. He's smart with the football, and he's elusive in the pocket. Really good quarterback. But what we don't necessarily hear about a lot is the Alma running back, Eddie Williams. This is a guy that I got to see up close and personal in their game against River Falls. And man, he's an athlete, man. I mean, this guy would be the starting running back on the majority of Division III teams. I mean, he is really, really good. He's at 1,200 yards on the year, and he's averaging just shy of 7 yards a carry, 135 yards a game, and 18 touchdowns. He's not afraid to truck a guy, and he's not afraid to hit a little jump cut. He can do it both. He can do both, and he's got breakaway speed. He's a complete package in the backfield. But the Adrian defense, man, these guys are good.
Yep.
Giving up 11 points per game, and they've played some good teams. Like there's good teams in this conference with good offenses. Even the bottom teams in this conference can put up points, so that's an impressive number. Against the pass, they've got 16 interceptions as a defense this year. They're just
Wow.
takeaway. I mean, they're takeaway machines over there, and they couple that with an experienced quarterback in Noah Boudry, who came over from Mount Union. And this guy, their defense gets all the picks, but he doesn't throw picks. He's got a 21-1 touchdown to interception ratio and a 76% completion percentage. He's the definition of smart with the football, making accurate throws. I mean, it's hard not to just have a ball bounce off a receiver's hands, and it's not even your fault, and it's a pick. So to
Right.
go this far and throw one is just a testament to how smart he is with the football. All of these MIAA games this season have been really close. I mean, look at Alma, Alma and Hope. We know what happened there. Hope needed a walk-off field goal to beat Adrian. Seems like these top three are just really, really close. I think Alma wins. I really do. I think Alma's a slightly better team. They're red hot right now. Carter St. John, QBs versus cancer, Alma, all that. Love it. Love the Scots. Want to see them in the playoffs. But there's too many points here. So I'm going to take the points just on the fact that there's way too many points and that Adrian's secondary and run defense really good.
All right. So another QBs versus cancer head to head there.
Wow.
Adrian to keep it close in a big time game against the Scots. All right. Moving right along, we've got Endicott. This is the second time we've covered them in 4 weeks, hosting Curry College. I'll be totally honest. I have been a Division III fan for much of my life, and have watched a lot of Division III football around the country and seen a lot of different teams. Um, I have not, before this season, wasn't totally aware of Curry College and their football program. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but I'm going to kind of segue that into my pick here against Endicott, who has been playing great all season. Number one rush defense in their conference, really controlling the line of scrimmage at a different level in this conference so far. But Curry, to me, is a team on the rise. And this is a team that won 4 games last year. They've got 1 loss this season against Coast Guard, which I honestly think this is a much different Curry team than week 2 against Coast Guard. They've pretty much dominated since then. You're talking about 52-12, 62-7, 60-0, 71-27, 52-31, 40-21, 47-30. And obviously, the main man for Curry is Monty Quinn, who is breaking all kinds of records right now at the tailback position. I'm going to take the points with Curry. And the reason I started this game talking about Curry, as far as, a lot of people might not know exactly where they are, who they are, whatever. This is a program that, to me, is underrated. They're undervalued. They're playing really good football right now. It's not just the running back. You don't just hand the ball to a running back and then he just magically is good for no reason. Yes, he's a great player, but teams can load the box and stop good players. If you can't throw the ball, they're going to load the box. And the passing attack has been exceptional as well. Anthony Santino's got a 20-2 touchdown to interception ratio this year. Endicott, yes, they've been great against the run. I did watch these guys play another great running back 2 seasons ago in Abilene against Hardin Simmons, and Noah Garcia had 124 rushing yards against them. I think it's similar here. I don't know if Monty goes for like 200 plus, but I think he definitely gets to 100. And if he gets to 100, they'll stay within the number. I also think they have enough of a passing attack that they can stay within this number. I don't think if they get way behind, they just can't catch up because they can't just run the ball. They're a balanced offense. And I just think they're better. I think better than basically the models and the systems think they are, because they've never been good before. Like, the last couple of years, they haven't been good. And now all of a sudden here they are playing really good. So number's too big for me.
I like the reasoning there. That's this sound stuff. And yeah, you nailed it. Curry is better than they were last year. And I'm not sure if the jury's out on if Endicott is better than they were last year or not. They suffered that loss early to Muhlenberg. We know Muhlenberg is a good team, but we haven't really seen them be totally tested yet to kind of know where they fall. Winner of this game wins the CNE, gets the automatic bid. Loser of this is done. So another one of these games, championship week. Just love it. And this is the biggest test for Monty Quinn yet. Endicott's defense, it can't be understated how good they've been. They allow just 2.8 yards per carry, and they've only allowed 5 rushing touchdowns all year. Against the pass is where it gets really crazy though for them. 46% completion percentage opposing quarterbacks are having against them. Just 140 yards passing they've given up. And on third down, opponents are converting just 27% of the time. This
Wow.
Endicott team is really good situationally. And that's what championship teams do. That's what teams that win conference do. They get off the field on third down and they stop the run. Those are the two things that win, and especially win this time of year. But like you said, there's more to Curry College than just Monty Quinn. Let's just take the defense, for example. The defense has 19 sacks and 10 forced fumbles on the season. That's physical football. Both of those lead the CNE. And if they can get some of those sacks, get some of those turnovers, get a couple huge plays like those in key situations, that's going to make a 24-point line just it's going to keep it closer than that, because an extra possession, a punt on third down because of a sack, like those are the things that make a huge line like this hard to get to. I don't like picking big lines like this personally, and I lean the same way you do. Too many points here. I'm going to take Curry in the points, but I think Endicott wins.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think it's fair that Endicott is a favorite here. But I'm with you. I think this line is just a little bit wonky. One of those lines that I think could be off by 10 points even. All right. Rolling right along. Big one here. Another gigantic game, obviously. Ithaca, the Bombers, hosting Cortland State. I'll start us off with this one, obviously. Cortland covered for us last week. We talked about these guys. Man, this team, like, I would put these guys up against, teams sniffing around the top 5 and take Cortland. I mean, These guys are really playing some good football right now. I know this game has, like, historically, especially in the recent history, been very close. I don't think we've had a double-digit win in a minute. However, looking at Ithaca, right? Best team they played so far this year was Johns Hopkins. They lost that game 42-14. And then they lost to Union 19-14, which was a big surprise. We actually covered that game on the show. Yep, we did. But look, there is absolutely no way I'm picking against Cortland at this point. These guys are out for blood since the opening week loss against Grove City, which they turned the ball over like 7 times or something. These guys have just been on a total rampage. They're an absolute buzzsaw, home or away, rivalry, whatever. These guys are just absolutely rolling teams right now. To me, Cortland, like, you could make a case that these guys are a top 5 team. And I mean, I've probably got them around 6 in the power rating, to be honest with you. And I don't know. It just feels like people totally forgot about them after they won the first game. So give me Cortland to just, I know it's a rivalry game. I think they probably beat the brakes off of Ithaca here. Let me fix this line because I actually typed it in wrong. But Cortland to lay the 13. What about you, Mike?
We have such the same thoughts on Cortland. This team is so hot. This team is so good. I messaged in a D3 football group chat that you and I are both in this past week that I think Cortland's a semifinal type team.
Yeah.
Like, if they're in the right pod that doesn't have maybe Johns Hopkins or North Central in it, if they're in a different pod, they can beat any teams that are not named those two. Like, I truly believe that.
Yep.
They're just red hot. They're up to number 12 in my top 25. I think the voters in the d3football.com poll have just kind of forgot about them. Like, did we not see that they just beat the brakes off of Brockport last week? Brockport's
Yes.
really good. Really,
Yep.
really good. I'm laying the 13 number with Cortland. Honestly, this number feels like it's not big enough. Like, I thought maybe this would be like a 17 and a half type spread. So 13, I'm laying it with confidence. Cortland's defense has 28 turnovers that they've forced this year, 16 picks and 12 fumbles. I mean, what is that? That's over 2 a game now. Their quarterback, Mike, I'm gonna butcher this last name, Resigno.
Yep.
He's Cortland's leading rusher and passer. 7.2 yards per carry on the ground as a quarterback. This guy's a true dual threat, and they do a lot of quarterback run with him actually too, where he's doing some RPOs. He has some schemed up quarterback keepers, and he has really good vision. If you watch them play, especially against Brockport's defense, who's really good against the run, there's several situations where it doesn't look like there's any hole, from the camera's view, from the press box, but he's still squeaking out like 2, 3, 4, 5 yards where it just looks like there's nothing. So you can tell he has really good vision with that. Ithaca has a great defense. We know that. They always do. But Cortland's just a buzzsaw, like you said. And yeah, I'm laying the points here. This is just a different Cortland team this year. They seem strong.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I think these guys are gonna surprise a lot of people in the playoffs, and a little bit different, from the team we saw, win the national title with Zach Boyes at quarterback. This is more like a defensive team. Like, these guys are just,
Oh yeah.
I mean, and their quarterback's big and strong and runs, and he throws just fine, but a little bit different style, which I like. I actually think that fares well as the season goes on and into the
Yep.
playoffs. All right, here we go. Union hosting RPI. I'll be quick on this one. Taking the home dog plus the 7.5 here. Union, obviously, they've improved a lot this year. Impressive season in that regard. Upset Ithaca 19-14 a couple of weeks ago. Only losses of the season were their first 2 games against really good opponents, Susquehanna and Cortland. RPI, to me, is just a team I think I think I know kind of what game we're going to get here. I think it's going to be a little more defensive, and I think it's going to be conservative. I don't really think either of these teams, if they get up, are going to really want to open it up. And yeah, so give me the 7 and a hook. I've got to take that. I mean, a touchdown and a hook here. So I think Union fights hard again at home. Last game of the year, and our RPI is not really beating good teams by margin.
See, what you're doing here is I remember a couple weeks ago we had Union versus Ithaca, and you were all over Ithaca, and I told you Union's going to cover the spread, and they might win outright, and they did win outright. So you're not making that same mistake twice, and I respect the hell out of it because I think this Union team is great. Union football is back. I said it right before that Ithaca game. Their defense is outstanding. The thing about the Liberty League is it's one of those leagues similar in ways to the SCIAC where there's a lot of good defenses. If you want to watch high flying offense, don't watch the Liberty League because these teams, they like to run the ball, they like to throw quick passes, and they play just great defense. There's a lot of really good linebackers in this league, especially. But the one team that sticks out on in this league as having a really good offense or an offense that's really good for Liberty League comparisons is RPI.
Yeah.
And I think when both teams have a great defense, RPI has the ability to limit Union to say 10, 13 points, but they have the offense capability to score maybe like 21, 24, dare I say 30, probably not that many. And I think that's just enough to move the needle. So I'm going to lay the points here with RPI. I think RPI is a really good team. They need to win this game. Both these teams need to win to get in. RPI needs to win this game to win the conference, and they're going to know what is in stake here. And this is a big one for them. Looking back on this matchup, RPI's won 3 of the last 4. Talk about that defense in this league. In all 3 of those games, they've never scored more than 24 points. So in order for them to cover this spread, it's going to have to be like 24-14, 24-10. So I think this is a really great line right here, and I'm going to go on the RPI side of it.
All right. And remind me what RPI stands for.
Oh my God, can you the first word, what is it like? I can't say the first word. I'm not going to try. I'm not going to butcher it. The PI is Polytechnic Institute. The first word, you got to be
Rensselaer? Is that right?
Yeah. I just stick to RPI or something Polytechnic Institute. Some place that neither you or I could get accepted into.
Right. Well, I'm glad that they kept it, that they're RPI, that people know them as RPI because it's not a lot of fun otherwise.
No. One of the best stadiums in D3, RPI. They have a great setup. Beautiful.
Beautiful facility. Absolutely. All right. Last one. Here we go. And this is a championship game, which makes it a lot of fun. We got Chapman hosting Cal Lutheran in a rematch of a game that was 35-25 in favor of Chapman first go around. So I looked at this one, right? And my initial thought was, I wasn't overly impressed when I watched Hardin Simmons and Chapman. Hardin Simmons won 37-30. Chapman looks pretty good, but not like, a team that you think would make a run necessarily. Then they lose 28-13 to a way down Linfield team. And then from then on, they played a lot of games fairly close against some teams that, maybe they could have beaten by margin. This game obviously was a 10-point game in the first go around, but Chapman dominated. They outgained Cal Lutheran 368-202 yards. Ball control was there. Sacked the quarterback 3 times. Had an interception. I think Chapman gets up for this one and blows the doors off of Cal Lutheran at home. gigantic game, gigantic opportunity for this Chapman program. Another very, very pretty stadium and facility there. I think they're right outside of LA. So
Yeah.
really nice setup there. Definitely a place I'd love to see a game one day. But yeah, I'm going to lay the point. Even though the first game was close, and even though Chapman's played some close games, I think that they unhook the wagon here and win by margin.
One thing to notice for this game that I wrote down here is we're recording this on Tuesday night. As of right now, there's a 90% chance of rain for this game. 60 mid 60s temp and a 90% chance of rain.
Ooh.
Now, do with that as you may, I guess. SCIAC championship game, by the way. And okay, sidebar, championship games. How do we feel? I hate them. I've fully developed my opinion on this over the last few years. I used to like them. The MIAC used to do it. I used to kind of like them.
Yeah.
Now I hate them. I see the other side on it. I see why the MIAC and other conferences have gotten rid of it. Cal Lutheran is like 4-3 or something like that in SCIAC play, and they're playing a team that hasn't lost a SCIAC game.
Right.
I don't think a team like that should get that chance. You already lost 3 times in the conference, you know. So that's the problem with championship games. So I'm out on championship games, but in this one, I'm gonna go with Cal Lutheran. I'm gonna go with the plus 13. Like you said, they just played a few weeks ago and earlier this season, and it was a 10-point game. Whenever a team used to see a team twice, hard to beat a team twice, right? You know a little bit more about them. Now we have some rain showers. I'm thinking rain showers. I'm thinking offense is going to be harder, better defense, maybe some more turnovers. So all that leads me to think that the line is just too big there. But I don't ignore the fact that Cal Lutheran, I like to get into some SCIAC after dark action. And Cal Lutheran is a team that just they lack an identity. I'm not really sure what they do well.
Right.
They're a good passing team, not great. They're a good running team, not great. Their defense is good. It's not great. They are really good though against the run. And on defense, Drew Knees. I mean, that guy stands out on film. I mean, that guy could play for every team in the country. He's
Yeah.
that good. Really quick first step. He has 8.5 sacks on the year, so a sack a game. He also leads the conference in TFLs with 14. I mean, he's a difference maker. If there's rain, he's gonna really wreak havoc. So yeah, I'm doing a little bit of a weather play here. Plus 13.
I respect it 100% because I think Chapman's biggest advantage here is they've got some skill guys that Cal Lutheran doesn't have.
Yes, it is.
And so I think that would obviously, that's a big advantage, and weather affects it. But this is another fun one, another QBs versus cancer head to head. And that will conclude our picks. I do want to mention, just to clarify, we are planning to do a live show. It's going to be this show. It's going to be the D3 spread option. Not next week after the play-ins when we get to a field of 32. We're going to do this exact same show, picking against the spread, previewing and picking against the spread for every single all 32 playoff or all 16 playoff games, which is going to be a gigantic show. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to stream it directly to X, Twitter, X, whatever you call it. We're going to stream it right there. And either there or YouTube, we'll see. We might do YouTube so we can have comments. I'm not sure, but that's what it's going to be in a couple of weeks from now. Hope you guys join us for that. And if you joined us for this one, we appreciate it. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Check out the Voices in the Stands podcast, which is also on the YouTube channel. Anything else, Mike?
5 QBs versus cancer games this week. We had 5 last week, so $50 going to QBs versus cancer this past week. $50 going this week. So these are big ones for us. We don't see each other's picks beforehand at all. So lots of head action.
Love it. All right, the stakes get higher and the games get more and more fun. Can't wait to see what we've got on tap for next week. Best of luck to everybody's respective teams. If you're on the bubble, wish you well. Unless it affects my team, I'm still hoping for a miracle. Go Crew. And we will see you guys next week.